Now to Russia, where today President Vladimir Putin thanked his supporters for backing a constitutional amendment that will allow him to effectively remain president for the rest of his life, should he choose to run again, or at least until 2036. But anti-Kremlin critics allege large-scale fraud and outright ballot stuffing, as well as pressure on public employees to back Putin's position in the referendum. So what happened behind the scenes of that vote? ABC's Patrick Reevell has this story.
Vladimir Putin looking relaxed on Wednesday as he voted in a constitutional referendum that will allow him to extend his rule until 2036. Ever since Putin announced the vote, there was little doubt about the outcome. But the week-long referendum produced a huge result for the Kremlin. By the official count, nearly 78% of Russian voters backed the amendments. It means that Putin, already in power for 20 years, will now be able to run for 2 more 6-year terms as president. The Kremlin set such importance on the vote, it held it even as Russia's coronavirus epidemic has continued to worsen. But the day after the vote, Putin treated it almost as no big deal.
Я хочу обратиться со словами благодарности к гражданам России. Хочу сказать спасибо вам большое за поддержку и доверие.
Throughout, he's acted as though the referendum was not about his future. Russians were asked to vote on over 200 amendments, including social welfare guarantees, among them a ban on same-sex marriage. His critics, though, had no doubt over the true purpose of the vote.
This is illegitimate. It's not a referendum.
The key amendment resets Putin's presidential term count from 4 to 0, meaning he will be able to run again in 2024 and again after that. The move needed now, many observers believe, to head off a potential succession struggle. Putin telling state TV as much last month.
It's necessary to work and not look for successors.
Authorities pulled out all the stops to get out the vote despite the virus epidemic, offering voters the chance to win cash prizes, even apartments. Most usual safeguards to prevent fraud were removed. Over the course of 7 days, people were allowed to vote at work or at home. Opposition activists have accused authorities of simply fabricating the vote to get it above 70%. Some videos have emerged of apparent ballot stuffing. People arriving to find their votes had already been cast. Election observers have faced obstacles in monitoring the polls.
Falsification that was found yesterday, it was the national record since the fall of the Soviet Union.
Roman Udot runs Golos, an election monitoring group that says it's gathered hundreds of examples of ballot fraud. As he came to meet ABC on Thursday, he was ambushed by a crew from a Kremlin TV channel. He told us they harassed him and asked him why he was talking with Americans.
Оставьте меня в покое и не преследуйте, пожалуйста. Спасибо.
The channel later ran a report falsely suggesting Udot attacked the journalist. Udot says he believes as much as 30% of the referendum's votes may be fraudulent.
But you have to understand that you can ballot box stuff with people. You can compel them to vote in favor. This is not free choice, this is not their free will. They are sort of ballot box stuffed, but in person. You can compel soldiers to do it, you can compel people who from municipal organizations. A lot of Russian business is not free in Russia, and they are very dependent on local authorities.
Critics suggest such tactics were needed because in recent years polls show Putin's popularity has slowly begun to weaken. A recent survey from a state polling agency showed only 28% of Russians trust Putin, the lowest number on record and down sharply from 3 years ago.
We had this already 2 years dynamics of very gradual slowdown and the falling of his personal rating.
Denis Volkov from Russia's only independent polling agency, the Levada Center, says his polls show while most Russians still support Putin, it doesn't mean all of them approve of his decision to stay in power indefinitely.
The decision itself was very controversial. It's 50-50 in population, 50 who are against this decision, 50% are in favor of it. And so the announcement of this decision, it made his rating go down several percent more.
Putin, though, is still popular, and a referendum has shown how strong his ability to control Russia's political reality remains.
Я считаю, что наш президент лучший. И дай Бог ему здоровья, чтобы он вечно жил. И пусть даже на этом посту. Вот и все.
For ABC News, Patrick Reevell.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.